Welcome to Leaders on the Rise. I'm Lydia Pierre, founder and CEO of Pierre Branding Group. We help create stories that resonate with audiences to forge unforgettable, unique brand experiences. These stories ultimately become infused with all aspects of the client's branding, thereby turning entrepreneurs into media celebrities by growing their authority and helping them build partnerships with top influencers. We believe that every person has a unique message that can positively impact the world. Stick around to the end of the show. We'll reveal to you how you can be our next guest in 15 to 20 minutes. Let's go. Hello there. My name is Lydia Pierre, CEO of Pierre Branding Group and your host of Leaders on the Rise. With me today, we have Richard LeBrun. I say it in French. Richard LeBrun, who is a franchising consultant and the owner of the
LeBrun Advisory Group.
The LeBrun Advisory Group.
That's right.
Yes. Thank you, Rich, for being on our show today.
Well, thank you for having me on there. And you say my name in French a lot better than I do. So thanks for doing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm actually French, last name Pierre. So yes. I have that to my advantage. So don't blame yourself. Yes. So Rich, tell us about yourself. How did you get started? How did you get into the space with franchise consulting?
Yeah, well, thanks for asking. Well, I went on a journey that was common to all my clients. Okay. I call my clients that they're executives in transition. They're thinking about something to do next. Now they may be forced in that because they're out of work. And so that becomes accelerated. They have to think about their transition faster. And most of our clients are working and they're still thinking about what else could I do in life that will make a difference or enhance my income or diversify my investments. They're thinking about something in a transitional thought. Well, I was the first category. I was actually in the marketplace at 60. Okay, I was in commercial real estate for 30 years. Had a wonderful career. Had the largest client in our company as $1 billion client. But they decided to sell all their real estate in the United States and go back to Australia. So I found myself in the market at 60. And then I said, well, what am I going to do next? I'm not done. I'm not done yet. I have still a lot of energy, some excitement, some thoughts, some visions. But unfortunately, as you get older, and our clients find this out, the employment market changes as you get older. It's a little bit harder. And jobs are only lasting about 2 years. So if you're trying to figure out your strategy, you have to look at their options. So my options were this. Either I retire. And I tell my clients, you got 5 options. You ask yourself if you want to retire or not. Second one is see if you can get another job in corporate America. And if you can, great. It's the fastest way to cash flow. And the last three have to do with owning a business. Either you start your own, you buy a business that's not a franchise, or you buy a franchise. And those are your options. So I went down that path. And I went through every single one of them. And I ran across my brother-in-law. We went out to dinner, and he bought a franchise. And he's an attorney. And I go, well, why did you do that? And we got me in this whole conversation about the franchise industry. So I went home and studied the franchise industry and just fell in love with it. Found out about the consulting side, which I love consulting people. I love talking to business leaders. It just really matched. I loved helping people reach their dreams. And so I actually bought into a franchise to learn how to do what I do. Okay. And for the last 6 years, I've been coaching people how to become a franchise owner and see if it makes sense for them. So I actually went on the journey that I take my clients on. So that's how I got to where I'm at today.
That's amazing. And I love that you said that you went on the journey that you take your clients on today, because I think that really speaks to not only your experience, but to your level of empathy and compassion that you're able to have when it comes to working with your clients. Because I mean, being someone who's been there and been through it, you see it not only as someone who's helping them, but someone who's actually been through it yourself. So talk to me about how that helps make you different from other people in your industry.
Well, you'd be surprised, Lydia, how many people, and I deal with executives all day long. I mean, my clients are generally 45 to 65, but we have outliers. We have them in the 30s coming in now, younger people, and we have them in the 70s, but generally 45 to 65. You'd be surprised how many people are a little bit lost in their thinking, in their transitional thinking. There's been polls put out there where 85% of people hate their jobs. It's like, and it's not a hard topic, but it's a hard topic for them to look at their options because they're not really aware of what are available to them. And people don't realize 100 years ago, almost 95% of our country were entrepreneurs because they were farmers. Okay. 100 years later, maybe 5% of people are entrepreneurs. But I remind them that spirit of entrepreneurship is within them. They have to dust it off and learn how to value themselves. And I know that's what you do. You help a lot of people find value in who they are. So I'm amazed a lot of times that the executives I'm dealing with who run major companies struggle with this conversation. So to tell them that I went through it, and it was a tough time. I mean, it wasn't fun. It's a lot of time, you're out of work. You're trying to figure, gosh, I'm not done. What's my purpose in life? I want to make a difference. I'm 60 years old. Who's going to hire me? You kind of go through some of this darker thinking. Yeah. And then also I came across the franchise industry, and it was almost like, a whole array of opportunities. I mean, it does take some money, and not everybody should be a business owner, but it's like possibility just was ahead of me. So I like to inspire that into people. Say, you know what, this may not be for you, but take a look at it. It very well could be for you, and you're not done yet. So let's go ahead and capture that talent that you have in corporate America. Let's bring it in to do something for yourself.
Absolutely. And that's very key when helping executives transition, because like you said, they felt lost coming out of that space, but teaching them that you've been on the right path this whole time is very key to make them realize, wow, I've been walking in my purpose already. And the training and the skill sets and all of that I obtained in corporate America as an executive can be very valuable and leveraged in this new space as an entrepreneur. So you being able to help them see that value, I think that's amazing. And especially being that, again, you are someone who went through that journey. So being able to help them have that feeling of them not being alone essentially is really great.
It's interesting. If someone is interviewing for a job, if you're out in the market interviewing for a job, you show up to that employer, you dress your best, you bring your resume, it lists all your accomplishments, and you spend the next couple hours convincing them to bet on you.
Yes.
Right? And if they do, you spend the rest of your career convincing them they made the right decision. Well, I say just switch the role. You're interviewing yourself now. Mm-hmm. You're the same person who gets up in the morning. You've still dressed your best. You still get the same resume and accomplishment. But now you ask yourself, are you willing to bet on you? You're the same person. And they appreciate that, because when you just go into your own business, you don't change. You still get up in the morning, go to work. You still bring all that skill set and talent and enthusiasm and leadership and management and business development to the table. You're just doing it for yourself now.
That is amazing. That is such a great way of positioning it, because a lot of it is mindset. It's the way you see things, the way you think, right? So breaking down the idea that entrepreneurship is this hard thing and it's this unknown space, because it is unknown, but isn't working for someone else unknown? You don't know what they're going through and what if the company's going to be open tomorrow or if it's going to last, or who knows, right?
The risk pendulum is actually swung now. It's more riskier to work for corporate America than it is to be in business for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And in the space of franchising, talk to us about how franchising is I don't know if it's a safer bet. Is it a safer bet?
Well, there's no safe bet. So what we can do is we de-risk it. Like investors talk about de-risking an investment.
Okay.
All right. So of your three options of starting your own and buying a business, not a franchise, you have more opportunity to de-risk a franchise, because you can actually, it's a business model that's already in existence.
Right.
There's brand awareness. There's an executive team in place. There's marketing systems, operating systems. You can actually talk to people, see, feel, and touch the business. So you have a lot of opportunities to de-risk it. The private equity groups are spending hundreds of millions of dollars in their franchise industry because of that exact reason. They like an investment. They can eliminate as much possible risk as they can they can't eliminate all of it. So franchising gives you a little bit of a leg up. Okay. So, I mean, if you're 20 years old, starting a business, you have a lot more runway to make mistakes. You're 55, 60, not so much. So people want to get into business quicker. Franchise gets you there faster. You get your business up and running. So there's an edge, a positive edge for people to take a look at that. But there's a risk in our job. My job is to coach them. By the way, our journey takes about 4 months, and there's no cost to our clients to go on the journey. We are paid by the franchise companies. So it's a very safe journey, but it takes about 4 months, about 2 to 5 hours a week of committed time. So when they're done, they have an MBA approach to evaluating businesses, and they can make a very, very wise decision of go or no go for their family at the end of the period of time.
That is amazing. So run that back. So there is no charge to going through the program?
No, there's not. And we are paid by the franchise companies. They tell us the type of executives. We're very much like an executive recruiter, except if we don't find a job, we find you a business. But the franchise companies also have, just like an employer, has a certain type of person they're looking for.
Right.
And so if we bring executives to them and we coach them all the way through the journey and they end up buying, the franchise company pays us. So it's purely safe journey for our clients to go on. And that's what I love about it. I can't sell them anything. I can just be a really good coach.
That's amazing. And I see that. And even the picture in the back is almost as if it's kind of like so inspirational. And you just speaking it from your heart like this, it really shows. So that is amazing. So you're essentially just coaching them into understanding what they're getting into, what it means, what the journey is, and what their next move needs to be, right?
Well, people need to do it strategically. Michael Gerber, who's the guru of entrepreneurs, who wrote the book, The E-Myth. He talks about the person, a lady who likes to bake, so she bought a bakery, and she ended up hating baking because she didn't like being in the business of bakery. And so people really need to take this serious. Like it's an investment. There's a strategy to this. So the real question is, what do you want the business to do for you? Now, we address passions and interests and skill sets, of course, but there's a lot of other reasons people want to be in business. So they need to take it serious. It's an investment. They need to take a strategic look. So my best conversations, when I get to bring the conversation with my clients to an executive level to where they're at. Okay. And so let's approach this like any other executive decision you would make in life or in business. Let's take a really hard look at it from all those angles is the best way to go about this. But and there's no cost for them to go on it. It's the best. I love what I do. It's like you love what you do.
Yes.
We get a chance to help people go through the journey.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So let's talk about the book that you wrote called What's My Next Move?
Yeah.
So that book is about essentially helping executives transition into entrepreneurs and understanding what that journey is like. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I really wanted to capture the journey. It was a well thought out, emotional, financial, intellectual, family journey, spiritual journey. I mean, we cover all the bases when you go through these type of thoughts because these are major decisions in life. So I wanted to capture it. So I take them, kind of at the beginning, it's kind of the state of the economy, what's going on out there in the world about for people in this demographic, okay, as far as the age-wise, what options to look at. We walk them through the 5 options. If you're going to think about retiring, talk to your financial planner, see if you can do it. Talk about the corporate America, the pros and cons of having a job. And then we look at each individual, the pros and cons of starting your own business. And by the way, everybody works for a company, and that company is always started by somebody who started their own business. Okay, so it's alive and well. Okay, and we all it's out there. That idea hasn't gone away. The question is, where are you in life? Should you do that? And then looking at buying an existing business, there's pros and cons. Okay, one of the key things in buying a franchise, and we talked about this early before the show started. One of the reasons people like buying a franchise is there's a saying in the franchise industry. It says you're in business for yourself. I mean, you do own it. You can sell it. You can give it to your kids, but you're not by yourself. You're supported by the franchise company, and your colleagues own the franchise around the country. Lydia, that's such an important thing for people. Yeah. They don't want to do it by themselves. And so when you start your own business, it's a little bit more of a lonely journey. If you buy a business, not a franchise, maybe it's a one and done type of operation. So that sounds like a cliche, but to be able to be in business with people and help you and guide you and share best practices is really a wonderful thing. But we also have to ask them about purpose. A lot of times people are halfway in their life, right? And there's a book called Halftime that talks about a person who went from success to significance. And so what do you want to do with the second half of your life? You want to make a difference in this world? You have a vision that you've never been able to fulfill. If you're a CEO of a company, you are the person, you get to make a difference in however you want to make a difference. So the book tried to capture all that. So when people read it, they can start mentally getting themselves prepared for a journey.
That is amazing. And like we talked about earlier, it is all mindset, right? So you can be and do and have anything you want as long as you have the mindset and you know how to think it into existence. So being able to have this book that's almost goes hand in hand with the journey you take them on, or they go on with you, or you go on with them. I think that's a great component to help them, assist them on that journey. How do they get the book?
Well, I'm more than happy to send it to them. They can obviously buy it on Amazon, but here's an easier way. They can just connect with me on my website, rlebrun.com. They can call or text me at 847-912-4310, or email me at LeBrun Advisory Group at gmail.com. Any of those ways, or through your show, however you want to connect them, and I'll send them a free book. I'd be happy to do that.
Oh, so we get a free book and the journey is free?
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I want a book.
Okay. Well, you got one. You got one. Okay.
I want a book. And I'm going to encourage my listeners and my clients to get a book, because I think it's very important to, even if they're not interested in getting into a franchise, but like you said, everyone that you work for is someone who has started their own business. And essentially, even if you don't own a franchise, you're part of a franchise in a sense. Yeah. So,
you know what's nice about the journey, Lydia?
What?
Even if they go on the journey and they don't buy, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Because my answer is, if everybody owned a business, we'd have no employees, right?
That's true.
Some people shouldn't own one, but at least they went on the journey. We helped them make that decision for their family, and that was a win for us as well.
Right. And they went on, and not only did they go a journey for their business, but it's a journey of self-discovery as well. Getting to learn about who you are, what you are capable of, what your dreams and passions are. I mean, that's why I love branding, because I have a front row seat to seeing clients tap into their greatness and see it come to life in front of them. And I just get so happy when I get to see them really embrace who they really are.
Well, we need people like you to help bring that out, because a lot of us, we can't see that without people like you.
Right. And you as well, because apparently you really help people. You hold their hand through that journey in this space. And that's really, really valuable, what you do, what you bring to the market. So thank you for that, and changing the world around you in that way.
Well, thank you. It's fun to see them, it's fun to see them become entrepreneurs, and they can control their destiny from here on out. So
Yes. Now, is there a client success story that you're particularly proud of?
It's interesting. I'll tell you a lot of client success story, but I just want to tell you how the journey happens. I'm going to tell you about a couple in Atlanta, by the way. Okay. It was a husband and wife team, and the wife, I actually connected with her first, and she was a personal trainer for a franchise, literally a franchise. And she wanted to buy a business, and she went to the obvious route, going, I want to be in the personal training business, and I wouldn't mind buying that particular franchise. I said, well, we'll look at the obvious. That's just the obvious. Of course, we're going to look at that. But let's go on the journey. Let's see where the facts lead you. Okay. Let's take this approach of, what do you want the business to do for you? Her husband got on the phone, and we went on this journey. We went and looked at sports and fitness, and we got real close, and then they backed off, and they went, it kind of went back and forth. And then I just remembered some nuances of our conversation. And she really liked marketing, and he really liked cars. So they ended up buying 3 automotive refurbishing companies. And it met their needs, which is like, I tell the story because we started off in one direction. We ended up totally opposite direction. And it was her who drove that. It wasn't him. She goes, I love the marketing. I love the freedom. I love everything about this business. And by the way, my husband likes cars. What a perfect match for us as a family. So I love stories like that. I love going on the journey, because I don't know where you're going to end up either. So I get to be front row seat, like you said, on exploring this possibility. But I always tell people, we're look at the obvious, but just be open to whatever. Trust yourself, trust that you're going to make decisions wisely, trust the facts, trust the homework, but just be open. And so that was really one of my most fun journeys, because it landed so far off of where we thought we were going to start. Oh, by the way, she still does personal training as a hobby for fun, but not a business.
That is amazing. And I love that you were there for all of that. And I particularly love that you're inviting people on a journey. You're not selling them. You're inviting them to become part of a journey, and for you to be part of their journey. And that creates a bond, essentially, with those people. So your clients become friends and family and just partners. And all of that. So it's amazing, isn't it?
It's fun. My dream is to get an RV and travel across the country and just stop at all my clients, because I work with people all over the United States. So some I never get a chance to meet. So I'd love to do that.
That is amazing. That's amazing. And you are a prime example of what it is to go into business for yourself and to be able to enjoy what you do and just kind of take your journey into your own hands and enjoy it. Look, I mean, you get to really just make friends and family all over the place. It's
fun. I mean, I love what I do. My wife now works with me. We can travel, and it's a job that we're going to do. I'm 68 now, by the way, and I'm going to do it until I just don't have fun anymore.
I hear that. And then you just retire and go sit on a beach somewhere.
That's right. That's why I got this picture behind me to keep me reminded.
Exactly of where you're going. Yes. That's amazing, Rich. That's amazing. And this has been an amazing conversation. It's been very inspirational. It reminds me of why I got into the business that I got into. And it's about taking people on that branding journey where they get to discover who they are. And I really love that you helped really reinforce that for me. Because it shows that I got into the right business. I got into the right space where I can last for a long time in this space, just helping people really love themselves and be themselves and just have and be and do whatever they want. So thank you for that, for me, for that clarity.
Wow. Yeah, you are definitely inspirational. And I can see your clients really enjoying working with you.
Yes. And me with them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's meaningful. It really is.
Yes.
Branding is such a business term, but it really isn't a business term, right?
No, it's a journey. It really is a journey, and trying to teach people that and helping them to, again, it's much like what you do. It's a mindset. So helping them understand and wrap their minds around the idea that this is an opportunity for you to bet on yourself. Like you're betting on yourself, and you're showing people that you are who you say you are, that you are authentic. You get to show your authentic self. And there's moments of vulnerability because you have to show pieces of you that you didn't even know existed in order for people to relate to you and want to be part of your brand and part of your journey as well. Because branding is you essentially not only going on the journey yourself, but inviting the world to go on that journey with you as well. Whatever product you're selling is just a vehicle to have them go on this journey and have this experience with you, which is why a t-shirt at Walmart might cost this price, but a Nike t-shirt, which is the same material, is going to cost a whole lot more because the journey they're taking you on, the experience you're having with that Nike t-shirt, that's what it's about. You're buying into that brand.
I bet you really helped them, let them know that they're worth it.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the part where the coaching has to come into play to make them realize that you are worth it. You're worth it. So, but then when they do realize that, that's where the magic that's where the magic happens.
I know. Yes. I can imagine the excitement in the room.
Yes. So Rich, if someone was listening, someone listening wanted to take the next step with you, how should they do that?
Yeah, it's real easy. So they would reach out to me again. Probably the easiest way is call or text 847-912-4310. It's 15-minute call. 15-minute call. I can run them through the process. Again, I'm not here to sell them anything. I really am not. I'm here to see if they're interested. Great. If they're not, at least they'll get good information. I'll give them a real brief understanding of what the industry is all about. There's 3,500 brands out there. We'll talk about a little bit about the process we go through, give them some parameters to, it does take some money. I do need to say that, Lydia. Yeah, but right. They'd be surprised. You can buy franchises as low as $50,000.
Really?
Yeah. People are really surprised of how you can get into this business for a lot less capital than they're thinking. Most people think of food. Food's the most expensive, but there's all sorts of businesses they can get into. But they would really be surprised. So
that's
reach
awesome.
out, we call or text, whatever. I'll call them. Won't sell them anything, and if they want, I'll even send them a free book. So
absolutely. So the website is RLEBRUN.com. So RLeBrun.com.
That's right.
And on there, you'll be able to get all the information about LeBrun Advisory Group, as well as information about the book, What's My Next Move. And thank you so much, Rich, for sharing your story, sharing your work, your journey. I think it's amazing what you're doing, and I'm excited to be able to work with you myself and really learn more, if only for the journey. I'm so excited to be able to take that as well. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Well, thank you for having me on the show. And again, I want to applaud you for what you're doing. You're making a difference in the world. And so thanks for letting me be a part of that.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Rich LeBrun on Leaders on the Rise. Thank you again. And be sure to look into how you could take that journey for the next move in your life. Take care. Lydia here. Thank you so much for listening to Leaders on the Rise. If you are a successful CEO, founder, C-suite executive, decision maker, successful business leader, or an influential entrepreneur who would like to be on this podcast, please visit peerbrandinggroup.com/podcast to apply. If you got something out of this interview you would like to share on social media, just do a quick screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on the socials. If you know someone that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag Leaders on the Rise. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, go ahead and subscribe. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show, and they mean so much to me and my team. Want to know more? Go to our website, peerbrandinggroup.com, or follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram at LydiaPierre_. Thanks for listening. We will see you